Hello, welcome again to another day of classes. Today we're gonna be continuing with the Interchange 5th edition level 2, the blue book, and today we're gonna be starting with the unit 3, okay? As always, we start with the language summary or the vocabulary for this lesson. So let's go right in because we have a long lesson today. I think that you know already for the length of this video. Okay, let's start. Nouns. Let's start with nouns. Room and board. Room and board describes a situation where, in exchange for money, labor, or other considerations, a person is provided with a place to live as well as meals on a comprehensive basis. Basically, is that you are paying or working and or helping in a place, and because of that, they let you live and sleep in their house or place and also give you meals like they let you eat. That is room and board. Contact lenses. The contact lenses are the kind of lenses or similar to glasses that you use that you put on your eyes so you can see better. Okay. Damage. When something is the damage is something that it's getting hurt. For example, this house, so to say, is damaged. Okay. Evaluation. An evaluation is when you see the different aspects of something. Like you can say this is good, this is bad, this is excellent, this have this problem, this doesn't have a problem, etc. Expenses. Your expenses are all of the different things that you're paying for, what you're using your money with. Okay, so every month, for example, you can get a salary or extra income. You get your income, your money, and your expenses can be your electricity, water, food, your car, phone, internet, house, etc. Okay, housework is that work in your house, like cleaning the floors, doing the dishes, etc. A mobile home. It's a home that can move. It's usually that they are designed so they can be on a track on a truck so they can be displaced to other places easily. Personality. Your personality is the type of way that you behave and you feel and you move and you do things, okay? You maybe are a shy person, an angry person, you maybe are a happy person or something like that. A PIN, personal identification number. That is what PIN stands for. And usually a PIN it's used as a password for things like ATM with your credit cards and stuff. Privacy. Uh, Your privacy is the moment or the characteristics of you not having a problem of some people looking at you or seeing what you're doing. Your privacy is when you're alone and nobody can see what you do. A questionnaire. A questionnaire. It's like a set of questions with answers. Okay. A questionnaire. You ask a series of questions. Reminder. A reminder is something that remembers you to do or to complete or about something. For example, you can use this post-it and put it in a place that you know that you're gonna see in a moment in the day as a reminder. To rent or rent. Rent is when you are living in a place that is not yours, but you pay for it. For example, if this house is renting, you can rent it, then you start living there, but every month you need to pay. Okay, and it's never gonna be yours. It's that you're renting it. It's not like you're buying it. That after you finish paying, it's yours. No, 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 no. You only rent it and you pay every month to continue living there. It's not paying it for having it for you. Okay. Reunion. A reunion is like a gathering where a lot of people get together to talk or do something. Okay. It's similar to a meeting. Safari. The safari is like when tourists go to Africa to see all of the animals in the wild state and etc. Okay. Seaweed. The seaweed are the weed that are on the sea. What do you know? Okay. So this is all the plants that are on the bottom of the sea. Seeds. The seeds are what you plant, and then flowers and trees come from it. Okay? Closet space. This is the closet where you put all of your clothes, your shoes, and etc. Suburb. The suburbs are the places outside the city. If you see, here we have the city, but this is outside the city where you live, okay? Wish. When you wish is when you dream or want something to happen in the future, but you don't think it's possible. A wish list is a list of wishes. Wishful thinking. When you believe that what you want to happen will happen, when in fact it is not possible. Wishful thinking is like, oh my god, exactly today I will receive $1 million. And you're really believing it, even though you know it's not going to be possible. Sadly. Okay, capsule hotel. Those are small hotels that have like little capsules where people can sleep and watch TV or something, and it's really, really small and it's also inexpensive. Chance, a possibility of something happening. A chance, it's basically the probability for something to happen. Environment is the place on Earth. On environment is planet Earth, for example. Houseboat is a boat that is a house, as you can see here. Furniture. Furniture are all of the different objects that you have in your living room or something like sofas, living room storage, textile, everything. Okay. Fish bones. The bones of the fish. What would you think it is? Nut. A nut. This is a nut. Soap. The soap is what we use along with water to wash ourselves when we are bathing. Let's see some adjectives. Afraid. Afraid is when you're scared, when you feel like something bad is going to happen, or when something is make you feel bad, like, oh my god, it's gonna kill me. Okay? Average. A typical value in a set of data. Okay? So we have something that is really good and something that is horrible. The thing in the middle, that is average. Okay? So average is not good, but it's not bad. It's just in the middle. Bright. Something is bright. You see, all of this is clear. You can see everything. There's a lot of light. And dark. All of this is like you cannot see everything correctly. For example, here you can see that there is. For example, I can see here that there is a plant here, or that we have all of these different things. Here we don't see that much because it's really dark. There is not enough light. Common. Something common is when it's usually appears on multiple things. In this case, we have common names throughout years. In the 1900s, it was John and Mary. In the 10s, John and Mary too, and the same for the 20s. In the 30s was Robert and Mary, then James and Mary, etc., etc., etc. Okay. Cramped. When something is cramped is when it's a small space. For example, this bedroom is cramped. Here we have the bedroom, and basically that's it. It's going from one wall to the other wall. Convenient. If something is convenient, it adds to your comfort, costs little trouble, or is easy to use, do, or teach. If you live close to your job, that's convenient. It's very easy to get there and get home. That is convenient. Something that is good for you. Okay? And inconvenient is the opposite, something that is not good for you. Dingy, dark, and often also dirty. Something dingy is like looking bad, looking dirty, looking like it's abandoned, and huge. Huge is something that is really big. Okay. Modern. Modern is a type of decoration or way to put your house that looks like new, brand new, or with a like a modern aesthetic. Private. Something private is when not the other people cannot go in. For example, this look like a private beach. You cannot see other people in here. Rundown. Rundown is when something is falling to pieces. It's like really old and it's almost breaking. Look at these walls. This is running down. This is run down. Separate is when two things are together and you put it in two different or more things. For example, One Direction separated a couple of years ago. Spacious. Something spacious is when you have a lot of space. Wild. Wild is referring to the ecosystem, the animals, things of the nature that is wild. Two-car garage is a garage for two cars. Oh my god, who would have known? Let's see some verbs. Achieve. To succeed in finishing a something or reaching an aim, especially after a lot of work or effort. What you're doing right now is learning English. When you finish and you feel that you like actually know English, you can see that you achieve learning English. Also, when you go to college and you're running your career, then when you finish your career and you start to be an engineer, a doctor, a publicist, or anything, then you achieved your goal. Okay. Add. To put something with something else to increase the amount of number. To add is to put one more. You can add lemon to this sauce. You can add sugar. You can add a new contact, etc. Expect. To think that something will probably or certainly happen in the future. I'm expecting to finish this video in like 20 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever. It's something that I know that's probably or it's certainly going to happen. To grow one's own. The term grow your own is a common way to express the fact that you're a gardener and prefer to grow your own vegetables, fruits, herbs, and medicine. It's like instead of going to the store and buy vegetables and all sorts of stuff, you grow it yourself. You do it, okay? Make changes. To make changes is to put things in your life or things or aspects in a different way, okay? Park a car. I think this is pretty obvious. Move out. Leave or cause to leave one's place or residence or work, okay? To move out is when you stop living with your parents, for example, or you stop living in the place that you usually used to live. To move away is to go and live in a different town or area of a country, or even another country. Waste. To consume, spend, or employ uselessly or without adequate return. When you waste is when you don't. It's like, for example, if you have a lot of food in your plate because, oh, you were so hungry, but when you are in the middle of your food, you say, oh, I don't want more, so you throw it away, then you wasted food, okay? Move into, to go to a different place and begin to live or begin to live to or work there. It's like to move into a place is like you're going to a different place, but you're going to start working there. Okay, we're going to come back here for the grammar that we have a lot of things with comparisons. Okay, so let's start with the part of the book. Okay, so this unit is called Making Changes, and today we're going to be talking about comparing houses and apartments. It's going to be interesting. But for now, let's go to this word power. It's called homes. Here we have different words to describe houses and apartment, and some of them are positive and some of them are negative. Oh no, well, you already know that one. Okay, so some of them are positive and some of them are negative. Take your time and put a P or an N depending on if it's positive or negative, okay? So after you complete that, you stop the video, and now when you complete that, continue with the video so we can check, okay? So you finish? Let's check. Bright is positive. Convenient is positive. Dangerous is negative. Dingy is negative. Huge, it's positive. Well, in my case, I would say that is, it depends. Because maybe you don't have, it wouldn't be so good for you to be huge, but usually huge is positive. Modern, it's positive. Also, depending on what you wanna, what you want. Okay, private is positive. Rundown is negative. Small is negative. You know, small can be negative because you usually don't want a small, like I want in a specific a small place. Maybe you want a place that is not so big, but not necessarily small. Okay, comfortable It's positive. That's always going to be always going to be positive. Very good. Okay, let's see this part. Perspectives. Oh, we have another perspectives. You're gonna listen to a family talk about their new apartment. Which opinions are about the building or the neighborhood? Which are about the apartment? So you're gonna listen to that and read at the same time to get to know what opinions from 1 to 5 are about a neighborhood and which ones are about the apartment, okay? So let's listen and read.
Unit 3. Making Changes. Page 16. Exercise 2. Perspectives. How's your new apartment? Part A. Listen to a family talk about their new apartment. Which opinions are about the building or the neighborhood? Which are about the apartment?
I don't like living in an apartment. We don't have as much privacy as we had in our old place.
I just can't sleep at night. The neighbors make too much noise. The building isn't as quiet as our old one.
The new apartment is too dark and too hot. There aren't enough windows.
Our new apartment isn't big enough for our family. We don't have a big kitchen anymore, so cooking is difficult.
The location is just as convenient as the old one, but there aren't as many good restaurants around.
Okay, very good. Let's see. I don't like living in an apartment. We don't have as much privacy as we had in our old place. That is about the apartment. I just can't sleep at night. The neighborhood makes too much noise. That is about the neighborhood. The new apartment is too dark and too hot. That is the apartment. Our new apartment, their new apartment isn't big enough for our family. That is apartment. And the location is just as convenient as the old one, but there aren't as many good restaurants around. Okay, that is neighborhood too. Okay, very good. Really interesting, because they are already using the grammar that we're gonna be seeing for today. That it's easy. It's just that it has a lot of content. It has a lot of different ways to do something. So we need to pay close attention to it. We have different evaluations and comparisons. An evaluation is, if you don't remember, an evaluation is when you say the characteristics of something. You say that, oh, something is good, something is bad, it has this, it has that. And the comparisons is when you take two different things and you say, oh, this has this and this has that. Or this has this that this other thing doesn't have. It's like taking two things and seeing what are the differences or the similarities, okay? But this is just some examples, so we need to see like some actual grammar on how to is made. Okay, so let's start. Comparisons and what was the other? Sorry, evaluations. Okay, so more than you need or want. For this, we use too plus an adjective. I won't buy this shirt. It's too big for me. It's too big for me. That is an evaluation. Okay? All of this is for evaluations. Too much plus uncountable noun. What I don't like about cities is that there is too much traffic. This is an evaluation of the cities. And, okay, we use too much for uncountable nouns. Too many for plural countable nouns. And too plus adjective for just adjective. Too alone for adjectives, okay? So what I don't like about big cities is that there is too much traffic. Too many plus plural countable noun. What I don't like about big cities is that there are too many cars, okay? All of these were evaluations, okay? Let's continue. So we have very, too, and enough, okay? Very can be used with an adjective as well as too, but very plus adjective has a positive or negative meaning. Too has a negative meaning only, okay? Very can be good or bad because it can be very good or very bad, okay? But too is always negative. The coffee is very hot, but I can't drink it. Hot, but possible to drink. The coffee is too hot. I can't drink it. If the coffee is too hot, it's not possible. It's like negative, okay? To plus adjective plus for someone plus infinitive. This is another way to use to plus adjective. The coffee is too hot to drink. The coffee is too hot for me to drink. I am too short to play basketball. It is too cold for us to swim. Okay? Adjective plus enough plus for someone plus infinitive. The coffee is hot enough to drink. Enough in this case is exactly the amount that I need. Not too much, not too little. He is strong enough to climb the wall. He is as strong as it is needed to climb the wall. It is cheap enough to buy. It is good enough for me. And all of these are evaluations too. Enough plus noun plus infinitive. I don't have enough money to buy it. We don't have enough time. Okay? All of these are evaluations. But let's see. Compare. She is very young. She is too young to drive. She is not old enough to drive. This is the comparison between very, too, and enough, okay? But all of these are comparisons. She is very young. An evaluation, sorry. She is very young. Evaluation. She is too young to drive. Evaluation. She is not old enough to drive. Evaluation, okay? It's used to remember that. Let's see. Not plus adjective and adverb plus enough. We couldn't hear the music. It wasn't loud enough. Okay? We couldn't swim. The water wasn't hot enough. All of these are still evaluations. We need another ladder. This one isn't long enough. Okay? We need 2 pizzas. This one is not big enough. Very good. So all of these are evaluations. Now let's see some comparisons. All of these were ways to make evaluation, but now let's see some comparisons. And this is when people can get a little bit confused. So this is really important. Okay, so we can make comparisons with adjectives and with nouns, both count nouns and non-count nouns. Okay, this is the as plus adjective plus as. When you use the as a structure, you're saying that a thing is in the same way or in the same aspect as another thing. Okay, for example, houses are as convenient as apartments. You say the houses and the apartments are both convenient, and you use it like this. You say that houses are as an adjective as the other thing. Okay, houses are as convenient as apartments. Houses aren't as safe as apartments. Okay, you're saying that in this case, in the negative, houses are not as safe as apartments. Okay, when you use as, it's like comparing the two, one thing with the other. That is why it's a comparison. Okay, and we can use it with nouns too, with count nouns and non-count nouns. Let's see. For the count nouns, we have to use as many, count noun, then as. Apartments have as many expenses as houses. Okay, expenses, things that you need to pay. Apartments don't have as many rooms as houses. Okay, as much plus non-count noun plus as. Houses don't have as much privacy as apartments. Apartments have as much noise as houses. Okay, we're doing a comparison between them, and we're saying that they have the same thing with these nouns. Okay, in this case, non-count nouns. Apartments have as much noise as houses. Okay, the houses and apartment are similar or are the same because they have as much noise. Okay, so here we have 3 different ways to say some things in negative. Okay, we have the negative form. You saying that is the comparison is not as this. We have when we have a small difference and a big difference. For this, we have not as good as him, for example, not quite as good as him for a small difference, and not nearly as good as him for a big difference. If you use not nearly, that is a really big difference. Let's see some examples. These are mountains. Annapurna is not as high as Everest. In this case, we can say that Annapurna is not, Everest is higher than Annapurna, okay? This is the comparison. Annapurna is not as high as Everest. Let's see a small difference. Annapurna isn't quite as high as Everest. In this case, we're saying that there is just a small difference in height. Fuji isn't nearly as high as Everest. We say that the Mount Fuji has a really big difference in height. Okay. Let's see some modifiers of the comparison of as. We have just, nearly, and almost. Just means exactly, and nearly or almost means like almost exactly. It's like really close to be the same. Some examples. The boots are just as large as the shoes. It means that they are exactly the same. The skates are nearly, or the skates are almost as large as the shoes. So the skates are like almost there to be the exact same thing. And all of these are being comparisons. Okay, I hope that you understand there. But now let's go back to the book. Let's see this part. Now that we saw all of that, I think we can understand this quite better. Okay, evaluations and comparison. Let's see first the evaluations with adjectives. Our apartment is not big enough for our family. So what we say? We say that this apartment is not as big enough. We're talking just about one thing because it's an evaluation. This apartment is too hot. This apartment is too dingy. This apartment is too bad for us. And we have the evaluation only about talking about a thing for nouns. There aren't enough windows, okay? We should have more. The neighbors are too much, make too much noise, okay? So remember, enough for countable nouns, too much, and enough too for uncountable nouns. We use too many for countable nouns too, okay? We can say there are too many windows in this house, and this is an evaluation, okay? Then we have the comparisons. We can use the comparisons with adjectives. The building isn't as quiet as our old one, so the old one was a little bit more quiet, okay? The location is just as convenient as the old one. As we saw, just is like exactly. And this is using adjectives, quiet and convenient. And it's comparing two things, the building and the old building, and the location and the old location, okay? And let's see, with nouns, we don't have as many, for countable noun, we don't have as many bedrooms as we used to, okay? We don't have as much privacy as we had. In this case, what we are comparing are the nouns of the things, okay? Very good. I hope that you understand this part. It can be a little bit confusing, but if you pay close attention to it, it will be good, okay? Okay, let's see this part. Here we have this. Imagine you're looking for a house or an apartment to rent. Read the two ads, then rewrite the opinions using the words in parentheses. Okay? So we have these two ads. This is modern house that is for rent, that is spacious, it has 3 bedrooms, it have 1 bathroom in a quiet suburb, 20 miles from downtown, 2-car garage, $1,500 per month. And we have this apartment. It's a comfortable apartment. It has 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. It's downtown, near the subway, 1 parking space, built in 1920, and it's $900 per month. What you have to do is to rewrite these sentences using the words in parentheses, okay? For example, the house is 20 miles from downtown. The example would be, it's too far from downtown, okay? So now that you have that, let's check. Well, no, let's check now. Take your time, rewrite it in your own time, and then when you finish, we're gonna check, okay? So let's check. It's too far from downtown. That is one of the things. The house is 20 miles from downtown. It's too far from downtown. The house is too far from downtown, or it's too inconvenient. You can use all of those. It's not convenient enough. It's too inconvenient. It has only 1 bathroom. With not enough, it will be it doesn't have enough bathrooms. These are evaluations. The rent is very high. It's too expensive. The rent is too high. Okay? The apartment is too old. Okay, with not enough. The apartment isn't modern enough. It's not modern enough. It's not new enough. Number 6, there are only 2 bedrooms. With not enough. There aren't enough bedrooms. Okay? Number 7, it's not spacious enough. With 2, it's too small. There's only 1 parking space. With not enough, there aren't enough parking spaces, or there isn't enough parking. Very good. These were evaluations. Now here we can have different ways to make comparisons. Like this is an exercise to write comparisons of the house and the apartment using these words and as. Okay? So we have big, bathroom, spacious, private, noisy, expensive, modern, convenient, parking spaces. You can do this to practice this part of the grammar that we saw with the comparisons with nouns and comparisons with adjectives. Okay, some examples can be the apartment isn't as big as the house. The apartment doesn't have as many bedrooms as the house. You can take your time on your own and then you continue with the video to do some examples of this. Okay, but for now we're gonna be continuing the next part. Here we have the last 2 things for the day: the pronunciation and a listening. We're gonna start with the pronunciation with unpronounced vowels. Some vowels that when we pronouncing a word, we don't need to say them. Okay, so let's listen and then practice.
Page 18, Exercise 4, Pronunciation. Unpronounced vowels. Part A. Listen and practice. The vowel immediately after a stressed syllable is sometimes not pronounced.
Average. Different. Separate. Comfortable. Interesting. Vegetable.
Okay, very good. Now, if you notice here, these words we don't need to pronounce like the whole, all of the letters, all of the vowels here. We say a, v, and g, but we don't need to say this a. Average, 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 average. Okay, different, different, different. It's like by only saying diff and then moving to the rent, you're already like pronouncing the e, but you don't need to say different or average or separate. Okay, that will change the whole word. It's separate, separate, different, average, comfortable, 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 interesting, interesting. Okay, it's not interesting, no, interesting. Vegetable, vegetable, okay, not vegetable, no, vegetable. Very good. Now for the last part, we're gonna be having a listening. A home away from home. You're gonna listen to Josh describe a capsule hotel and then check the true or false statements. And for the false statement, you're gonna correct the information, okay? So listen as much times as you need, and then after that, we're gonna check, okay? So let's listen.
Page 18, Exercise 5, Listening. A home away from home. Part A. Listen to Josh describe a capsule hotel. Check true or false for each statement.
Welcome to the program, A Home Away from Home. Our guest tonight is Josh Phillips from Tennessee. Josh, tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do?
Well, at the moment, I'm working as an English teacher in Tokyo, Japan. Tokyo is an exciting city, but sometimes it feels too big. It can take about an hour to go from one part of the city to another. When I don't feel like going all the way home, I sometimes stay in a capsule hotel.
A capsule hotel? Can you explain what that is?
Yeah, It's a hotel with lots of small rooms. Actually, they're not really rooms. They're spaces that are 2 meters by 1 meter and only a meter high, so they're very cramped. But the hotel is just as convenient as a regular hotel and not as expensive.
And what's inside each little room, or should I say each space?
Well, inside every capsule there's a mattress, a TV.
A TV? Really?
Yeah, and a reading light, a radio, and an alarm clock. The hotel also has lockers for your personal belongings.
Interesting. So what kind of people stay in a capsule hotel?
Well, probably people like me. People who miss the last train home or don't want to go all the way home. Sometimes you're just too busy and tired, especially if you have to work early the next morning.
Interesting. So would you recommend a capsule hotel to other people?
Sure, the rooms are small, but you get used to it. But I wouldn't recommend a capsule hotel to people who can't relax in small, cramped spaces. There just isn't enough space.
Okay, very good. Remember, if you need to listen again, just go back on the video, okay? Okay, so let's check. Number 1, these are the true statements. The true statements are number 3 and number 4. Inside every capsule, there is a TV, a radio, and an alarm clock. And the capsule is a good option if you're busy and tired. And these other 3 are false statements. Tokyo sometimes feels too noisy. And a capsule hotel is not as convenient as a regular hotel. Josh would recommend a capsule hotel to anyone. These are false. But what is the correct then? Well, for the number 1, Tokyo sometimes feels too noisy. It's sometimes feels too big, okay? What else? And the number 2, a capsule hotel is not as convenient as a regular hotel. A capsule hotel is just as convenient as a regular hotel. Number 5, he wouldn't recommend a capsule hotel to people who can't relax in small, cramped spaces, okay? And those are the differences, okay? Very good. Well, this is everything for today. We're gonna be continuing with the rest of the unit on the next class. So for now, that's everything, okay? So see you in the next time. Bye.